I'm Pete Kever. I'm the Historian Laureate for the City of Mishawaka. I am also the President and Curator of the Mishawaka Historical Museum that will be opening next year on South Main Street in downtown Mishawaka. This building was originally built as the U.S. Post Office for Mishawaka. It was also the federal building. And so this building was constructed around 1914. During World War I, the recruiting officer was using this building to sign up recruits to go off into the war. So it served the function of being the post office until 1969, when we opened the new post office that we're still using diagonally across the intersection of Church and 3rd. By about 1974, the Mishawaka Police Department moved in here. And so the police department was here until 1995, when they opened their new building. And that was around the time that the public library was looking to expand, create an even larger presence here on this block to serve the needs for the community. Since about 1998, the space that we're in has been called the Heritage Center. Brought together all of the library's resources like microfilm, books, files on Mishawaka history, genealogy, kinds of resources. And so it really served that purpose until about the time of the pandemic starting, and then this space was closed as the library was closed for a while. And then I believe the library staff, the library board, they kind of re-envisioned what this space could be. And so the Heritage Center resources were brought down to the reference department so that whenever the library was open, those things would be accessible. And they realized that this could become a reading room, something that the library didn't have. And as part of their plans for the reading room, they wanted to provide opportunities to display some artifacts and photographs on the history of this building and the history of Mishawaka. So the space is primarily going to be a reading room, but along the walls and some of the display cases, it will be items that reflect the history of Mishawaka. 5 industries that made Mishawaka is the title for the exhibit. And initially, those industries are going to be probably the largest, most prominent historic industries in Mishawaka. They're Ball Band, Dodge, Wheelabrator, Bendix, and Schellinger Brewery. I think there's a possibility in the future we may rotate some of those out and bring in some other prominent industries, but these are the 5 that are really good for us to start with. Certainly Ball Band, Dodge, and Wheelabrator were the largest employers in Mishawaka. Bendix, for a period, was right up with them. And then Schellinger, they may not have been one of the largest industries of Mishawaka, but because they manufactured beer, everybody can identify with beer. And of course they had lots of products and their name was everywhere, and the buildings remain from the Schellinger Brewery. It's part of the 100 Center. And then we have artifacts from all 5 of those industries, physical artifacts as well as some photographs will be on display. So shoes that were made at Ball Band, beer bottles from one product that was made at Wheelabrator, a couple products made at Dodge, and then we have a couple models of Talos missiles. The Bendix plant manufactured surface-to-air missiles for the U.S. Navy in the 1950s through the 1990s. And so it becomes all the more important as time passes that we are continuing to tell the story of the industries that literally built Mishawaka, that paid for everything through taxes, through wages. Those industries, in a very real way, made Mishawaka what it is. I think we kind of take for granted that, oh, people remember Ball Band. It's been 21 years since the Ball Band factory came down. There are a lot of people who don't even remember the existence of those buildings simply because they were too young or they didn't live here. And there's a need to be reminded that we used to make Talos missiles here. Probably the most advanced product that has ever come out of any Mishawaka business was these supersonic missiles that we used in the U.S. Navy, built entirely here on South Beaker Street in Mishawaka, or the wide range of products that Ball Band made, not just the footwear, but Ensolite foam, Naugahyde, adhesives, fuel tanks. I mean, just on and on goes the list. And I think a lot of people don't even realize what Wheelabrator made, because they made this really sophisticated, enormous industrial equipment. And I know that the library here, they're going to continue to have this industrial exhibit. And so there are other Mishawaka factories that will be profiled in the future. We're going to need some artifacts to help tell the story of those factories. We all the time are accepting donations of artifacts and photographs from people in the community who have recognized the historic importance of the items that they have and the fact that they want to share it with a larger audience. The idea of our industrial heritage, industrial production, that doesn't just have to be something from the past where we think, oh, we used to make things here. We can still do that. And maybe we've got some future inventors and entrepreneurs going through our schools who will want to open a factory in Mishawaka or start a business that changes the world or changes a particular field of production. And maybe this exhibit in some small way, or what we will do in the Mishawaka Museum, can help achieve that purpose. You know, it serves the practical purpose of people being able to read here quietly or work on a computer quietly, but of the history-related exhibits that are here, they should definitely be proud of those topics that are represented. Proud of this building too. It's an amazing building, and it's been beautifully restored and cared for. It'll last forever if the community continues to value it.